That's right. We're talking about a lot of different new foods for our audiences. Mandeep, so happy to have you here, friend.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
So we're talking about something called Diwali. I figure a lot of our audience does not know what that is. Tell the folks a little bit about it.
So Diwali, it's also called Festival of Lights. It's one of the most celebrated festivals in India. It's celebrated across multiple religions like Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, and Buddhists. They celebrate Diwali.
So 4 different religions celebrate this, and it starts this Sunday, correct?
Yes, this Sunday, 10/27 is Diwali. Yes.
And so how long does the festival typically last?
So, as per Hinduism, I think it's 4 or 5 days festival, and Diwali is the day when people clean their house and they light the lamps, and they also, the kids they love to enjoy the fireworks.
Cool.
And you share your sweets with neighbors or relatives. So yeah, it's fun.
So talk to me about sharing of these sweets. You said you brought some sweets back here too.
Of course. So I got something very famous, Indian laddu. So if you want to try some.
Sure. So just with my hand like this?
Yeah, just try that.
So tell me what this is.
So this is a very famous sweet called laddu. It's made of gram flour, dipped in sugar syrup and some dry fruits and stuff like that.
So good.
Yep.
All right. So while I chew this, let's tell the folks about the dish you're going to make today.
So what we are cooking is a vegetarian dish called Paneer butter masala. On the day of Diwali, we don't eat non-veg or any meat.
Okay.
So we try to keep it vegetarian, so hence cooking a vegetarian dish.
So as mentioned, we're friends. I've been to your house before. You've made us some amazing meals, some curry and all that kind of stuff. You've used meat for that. But with Diwali, you typically do not use meat.
Yeah, we don't use meat.
Okay.
So I'm going to cook a dish out of called paneer. It's a kind of cheese. And if you have eaten in an Indian restaurant, very high chance that you find something out of a dish made out of paneer. So talking about the ingredients that go in there, we've got some butter, some oil, turmeric powder, we got some salt, fresh cream, we got some honey, red chili powder, we got some coriander powder, and this is a garam masala. It's a blend of spices. I got some dry spices, bay leaves, some cardamom, cinnamon stick, some cumin, and I made a paste out of onion, ginger, garlic, and a puree out of tomatoes. We got the paneer and some fenugreek leaves here, dried, and some cilantro for the dressing.
So is this onion garlic mix here the first thing we need to get started in there?
So we'll go ahead and start. I've started with some butter and some oil in there. It's heating up there. So we're gonna throw some dry spices, some bay leaf, and some cardamom. Let's pump up the heat here, and putting some cinnamon.
And you brought a finished dish too, and it smells so good in here, y'all. It is such a great scent. So I tell you what, Mandeep, we're gonna let you get started on that. When we come back, what are we gonna do in our next segment?
So I'm gonna go ahead and let this cook a little bit, and then I'm gonna put in some ginger, garlic, and onion paste in there, and let it cook.
Sounds good. If you want to learn more about Diwali, we're going to have a link to that on our show shortly after Studio 10. Also, if you want to try something different cooking, we got Mandeep's recipe. That will be online shortly after the show as well, so go check that out, y'all. Chelsea?
Welcome back to Studio 10. We're with our new friend Mandeep here, and we are talking about Diwali. So it is an Indian festival of lights, and it's going to start Sunday, right?
Yes, it's on Sunday.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about this festival for our friends at home who aren't familiar with it.
So I'll tell you the reason why Diwali is celebrated. Like I mentioned earlier, it's celebrated in 4 different religions. But as per Hinduism, the religious significance is their Lord Ram came back home after 14 years in exile, and he won the war with Ravan. They call him king of demons. So it's basically good over evil. It signifies, knowledge over ignorance, light over darkness. And as per Sikhism, Sikhism has 10 gurus. So the 6th guru was actually freed on that day by Mughal emperor. Shri Guru Har Gobind was freed by Mughal Emperor Jahangir. So he came to holy city of Amritsar, Golden Temple in India.
Right.
So.
Wow. I love hearing the backstory of this. And you know, a great way to celebrate whatever you want to celebrate is with food.
Of
and
course.
authentic food at that. So we are making this dish. I want you to tell me a little bit about it while we're adding our ingredients. Now, you told me to step back earlier because it splashes.
Yes, it does splatter. So before the break we went in, we put the onion and ginger garlic. So it's cooked. So we're going to go ahead and put some turmeric in it. And let it cook like for maybe 30 seconds or so.
Right.
And then make sure that raw aroma and the flavor goes away.
Yeah.
And after this is done, this is the part I want you to step back. When I'm going to add this tomato puree in there, make sure it doesn't splatter all over you.
Well, that's okay.
So we're going to go ahead and add some tomato puree in there.
I love this sound. Now, I love the smell. So I've had a couple of my aunts come on the show before and make authentic Asian food. And there's just something about authentic food, no matter where you or your family is from, that is just so delicious. And it's always fun to try.
That's right. That's right. I mean, whenever you add fresh ingredients, the smell is different. I mean, you can do the store-bought, but it's not going to be the same.
It's not. It's not. And so we do want you to maybe try this at home for something different. You know, I don't know if I've ever had really authentic Indian food made by, you know, I've gone to restaurants, but I'm really excited about this today. So it is a vegetarian dish, though.
That is right. And the primary thing is the cheese that goes in there.
Right.
And back home, many people are vegetarian. So, you know, this is a primary source of protein too.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff. It tastes good. It goes good with any kind of sauce you put in. So I added some salt in there. I'm going to go ahead and add some chili powder. It's going to kick in the little spice up there.
Yeah, and Joe was telling us earlier, Joe has gone to your house and eaten before, and you kind of knocked down the spice a little bit for one of the recipes, but he wanted to try the full spice.
That's how I bring tears in his eyes.
Yeah, and he said it was super good, but again, super spicy.
That's right. We just like to eat some spicy food. I mean, especially when you're eating some meat. That adds the flavor, so it just gets a little kick to it.
Right.
So right now I'm adding the coriander powder, and then I'm gonna go ahead and mix that stuff up, let it cook for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go ahead and add some honey and maybe some cream in it.
Yummy. Well, I am so looking forward to this. Thank you for coming on the show today and cooking some authentic food, sharing your story, sharing the story of Diwali. It's always fun to learn about new cultures and to eat their food too.
Thank you very much.
I know. Joe, do you regret the spice?
We are back in the kitchen with my friend Mandeep. We are working on an Indian dish. It's all in honor of Diwali, which is the Indian Festival of Lights. We've been learning more about that this morning. If you missed our earlier segments, it starts this Sunday. That's correct, Mandeep?
That's right.
Starts this Sunday and goes on for a few more days here after this, celebrated by 4 different religions.
That's right.
So we're learning more about that this morning, and man, you have made it smell good here in our studio. Tell the folks at home what you're working on right there.
So I'm just giving it the final touches right now. So before we went, added in the tomatoes. So they cooked down, simmered down, the spices blended in, and then I went ahead and added some honey in there, and then I added the paneer, the cheese in there, and it cooks for like a few minutes.
What I love about Indian food when you introduce it to me is that I have not had a lot of these flavors and spices before in my life. So it opened my eyes to something new, and man, it is definitely a different taste, but a great taste. It is so good. It really feels like home cooking, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, Indian cuisine is all about fresh spices, fresh ingredients. That's what gives it that smell and then the taste.
All right, so what do we need to do to finish up this dish here this morning, Mandeep?
So this is almost pretty much done. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit of cream on top of it.
Okay.
And then what you can do is you can eat it with either the naan or the rice. So I'm gonna go ahead and plate some rice for you.
And for the folks who don't know, naan is bread.
Yes, naan is bread, and all the ingredients that I mentioned here today you can get easily in the Indian store. You have 2 Indian stores in town, so just Google them and you can find them.
All right, sounds good. We need to wrap this up here, Mandeep, so we can plate this out and you can see how it looks. Keep in mind, Diwali is starting this Sunday. So happy to learn more about what's going on with all that, and so happy to try out this dish. It looks so good. It smells so good. Mandeep, you are the man. Thank you so much for coming in. Is it going to be hot?
No, it's not going to be hot. It's tangy and sweet.
Tangy and sweet?
Yes.
Give me a high five on that.
Oh, there you go.
Mandeep in the house. So excited to have him here. We'll be right back with more Studio 10. Actually, Chelsea can talk to us about Halloween. Right. Thank you so much for joining us here on Studio 10. Thanks to our friend Mandeep here for cooking some great food. Man, that is so good, y'all.
So yummy.
Can't wait to have some more. Have a great weekend, everybody.